I want to talk to you about who the Lord is. Who is this Jesus that we hear so much about? Yeshua, his Hebrew name. Who is this historical figure that has caused the world to turn inside out and upside down? You've heard about him in songs, read about him in books. Preachers talk about him. Critics question him. Scientists, many deny him. And so many people wonder about him, adore him. And quite a few reject him. But they know of him, know about him, whether they're sure or not. Who is this Jesus they hear so much about? John has a lot to say about this Jesus. In fact, all of the parallel gospel letters and what we call the New Testament has a lot to say about him, though you can find them even in the Old Testament, personified in the New Testament under Yeshua, personified in the Old and the Torah under the name Lord. 37 miracles we know of, the chronological order, the things that he did when he walked the earth, or what was said that he had done. Who can forget the first miracle? The miracle of water and wine, the wedding at Canaan. And anyone that can turn water and wine, that would make him an Enologist, Hydrologist, somebody that performed miracles with water. He healed a sick official and cast out demons by the power of suggestion and command speech. That would make him a Suggestionist and an Exorcist. He healed Peter's mother-in-law, sick with a fever, and so many more that came to him in the day and in the night. That would make him an emergency room urgent care doctor and an Ichthyologist. What else did he do? He healed lepers, people with disease in their blood, an immunologist and a dermatologist. He took a paralytic, made them walk, restored their bones. That would make him an orthopedic. So many instances where people came to him through ruse and every other kind of way, begged for his help. That made him an ER doctor. He walked on water, calmed the sea. Well, that would make him a geoengineering meteorologist. Blood disorders, hematologist. Withered hand, ophthalmologist. Mind gone crazy, counselor, psychologist, therapist, practitioner, fed thousands with a few fish and loaves of bread. That made him a farmer producer. Knew how to take a little and make it go a long way. That made him a grandma. Defied gravity, Geokenisisist, or Gyrokenisisist, however you want to pronounce it. Walked down the street and just the sight of him, the presence of him, the hem of his garment, the clothes, radioactive. You get close enough, with faith enough, to touch enough, to believe enough, healed. Oh, the Lord did so many things that made him who he was, from opening up the deaf ears to the dumb mouths. Otolaryngologist. Try to say that fast 5 times. I can't say it right once. And the multitude, the plethora of various other techniques, whether he's spitting on the ground and making mud, or what we call a salve, an ointment. Homeopathic, naturopathy. A naturopathic, a naturalist, knows what to do with the tree when it doesn't produce and how to make one grow. An arborist. The Lord was a restorer. Those who were rejected, who felt that they had nothing left from the life they had lived in addiction, restored them. He was a redeemer. Those who were cast away, sold into slavery, bought to bring them back. He was a rescuer. Those who would perish. Oh, he was the first to grab them and lift them up. He was an encourager. Those who had felt they had been cast out. Oh, he was so many things. He was a rebuker, particularly to the elite and those who had power over those who were powerless. He defended the defenseless. He was a protector to children who were accosted by society, disregarded and dismissed. People who had the wrong ideas. He was a corrector. He was an ecologist that taught you how to love and care for the earth and do right by the things that God had planted, both to eat and to serve. He was a theologian. Don't think you can get past him and outsmart him and outwit him by taking the word out of its proper context and misusing it. He taught the devil how to read it right and to think right about it. He was a physicist. He understood the laws of nature, the laws that he was a part of creating with his father. He was an astronomer. He knew how to read the signs in the universe, the seasons, the sun, the stars, and the moon, not for astrology, but for creation as it was created to serve its purpose in the spin and expanse of the galaxy and the cosmos. He was a true scientist, could discern and divine what things are and why they are. He was an alchemist. He knew what to do, what to mix, and what not to mix. He was a naturalist, being as you were created to be. He was an advisor. Nicodemus found that out. He was a legal analyst and a financial guru. Could tell you what you should spend, how you should spend, and where to spend it, and how not to take advantage of people for that money. He knew to understand the right way to perceive law and how it should be judicated and applied. He was politically astute, knowing exactly what you should do under a governing power and what you should be doing under God's power, what belonged to the state and what definitely belonged to God. And he was benevolent, always caring, always giving, always loving, living his best. Compassionate. Oh, compassionate to anyone that's hurting, who comes to him sincerely and willfully, even to the enemy. He was merciful, graceful, strong, not weak, bold, not timid. He was a teacher, but he was also a good listener. He was an instructor and knew what to say and where to tell you to go and what to do and how to do it. He was definitely a leader, but was not opposed ever to first being a servant, for that was the greatest position. Lead by serving. He was humble, though he had all the power of the universe to boast, yet he didn't have to. And he was kingly because he loved the people that he ruled. He was a shepherd, knew how to direct, to guide, to lead, to care, and not take advantage of his sheep. He was a prophet because he spoke the word, godlike and like God, spiritual, nothing more, wise beyond any, classy, I dare you find another one more. He was the embodiment of the divine, of course, and the human combined. He was the hybrid example of what we should aspire, what God intended, and what yet will be. He was indeed our Lord and salvation, sent from God, not from man, not of this world, but in this world, made by, with, and for him. He was Abba incarnate, the full expression of our Maker, his Father, and soon to return again. Until then, you hold on and live worthy and ready to meet him and be found faithful to be with him, accepted and not rejected for all eternity. He leaves at your choice. Choose well. Live right. Serve Adonai.